It took at least 3 hours to drive the route back west to headquarters, with the living and dead piled up together in the back of the trucks. To the east of the plain, the road leads into the city of Anda. All along the route and in the city, the local nightmarish memory of the Japanese occupation is heavy. Stories of sudden epidemics, of polluted wells, of poisoned food distributed to children, of rats. Since their sudden departure in 1945, local resentment of the Japanese occupiers is unceasing and still highly charged. Upon return, one way to study the effects on those who had contracted disease was in the vivisection rooms that were created at the end of every floor. Only leftover plaster from the walls is still visible. The prisoner was laid down on a table and anesthetized.
At the end, yes, at the end, was a special room for experiments where the subject was brought. It was actually a hall for vivisection. Everything was tiled. In the middle of the room, an elevated platform with a hollowed-out block in the form of a prone human body. It had a raised lip, or rim. It was, in fact, a vivisection table, conceived so that the blood would be evacuated and collected, disinfected, and later discarded. My job there was cleaning the body. I didn't even think with squat. I saw in a corner a kind of rough scrubbing brush attached to a hose, and when they started pantomiming, I realized that they wanted me to scrub and hose down the body. Then I turned to the section chief and asked him, how do I do the face? I couldn't imagine scratching at somebody's face with a scrubbing brush. Just do it. And I did. The others helped me turn the body onto its stomach, and then back again. Once the vivisection had begun, they told me to take organ samples to make cultures and also smears. The first time I did it, my legs trembled so much I didn't know what I was doing anymore. I don't know how I put up with it. Watching them kill someone like that.
"1942 was coming to an end. What did people in Tokyo or elsewhere in Japan know about the way the war had been conducted in China? The Japanese government always announced their victories to drum rolls, but under their breaths, people whispered that the war in China was going on forever, and that exactions on the local population had been committed. Who knew that Unit 731 had grown into a monster? Who knew that the army of Manchukuo had unleashed its important stock of biological weapons on the Russians in Nomona, and later on the Chinese in Changde, Nanking, and Amoy? By 1942, with Tokyo bombed for the first time, and the Americans fully engaged in the war, more and more Japanese were receiving the red cards that meant they too were headed for combat. Train platforms were increasingly congested with soldiers headed to the front. Before heading to southern China to join the military hospital to which he had been assigned, the young Dr. Ken Yuasa had heard tell that Chinese prisoners were being used as guinea pigs for military training sessions in combat surgery. And in fact, vivisection was widespread in occupied China. Yuasa himself participated in 13 such sessions on living, if anesthetized, guinea pigs in his hospital in southern China.